Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, it's one of my favorite videos to make every year. That is how much we made in the prior year of 2024 from banks, encompassing credit cards, encompassing bank promotions and referrals. We're going to go through all of it, total it up, tell you what the hits were, what the misses were, how we did, as well as what I think is coming for the next year and those goals. Of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. So thank you for joining. If you are new here, I will do a quick explainer. This is a predominantly cashback channel, but I also have one other channel called Run on the Bank, which is dedicated to bank promotions, like deposit accounts, brokerage accounts, things like that. And of course, we have a blog as well, profitablecontent.com, which is dedicated to all of it. News stories that we talk about here on Sundays, bank promotions, and credit card offers. Because I play cashback, my goal is always to make as much money from the bank as I can, make the bank's money our money, as we say on Run on the Bank. So overall, my goal is $5,000 from credit cards, which encompasses intro offers and spending like normal for high multipliers. It includes those bank promotions that we talked about, checking, savings, brokerage accounts. And of course, it encompasses referrals, referring viewers and readers to bonuses and things like that as well. So it's 5,000 credit cards, 10,000 bank promotions, 10,000 referrals. So it'd be nice to land 25,000. I think that's a reasonable goal. Anything else than that is like extra by all means, and we want as much as we can, but that is the goal. So once a year I cash out all my credit card points. Bank promotions are cashed out much sooner because again, you have to churn. You want to churn those, close them, reopen them. Most of my credit cards end up becoming keeper cards. But anyhow, let's go through it here. So what we're going to do, I have my spreadsheet pulled up. If you're interested in any of this, there's a spreadsheet linked to you for you on the blog, profitablecontent.com. It's always linked down below for you, as well as Run on the Bank, as well as the Google Drive link in all those videos. And if you're interested in anything what you're hearing here, of course, you can go join over there, watch over there, where we talk about this stuff more, then you can play along with us. But let's get into it here. This is the spreadsheet that I use. So I will start a screen recording here, and I will just walk through it. Since this channel, the main channel, is mostly credit cards, we will start with credit cards first. So we're looking at $9,246.36 for credit cards. So how this works is, again, you've got the card on the left, column B, and then you can see if it's new or existing, when I picked it up based on the date. And of course, it has an intro offer into it. I'm not going to run through all this, just some highlights here. My favorite card I got, favorite keeper card's got to be the AAA Daily Advantage card. That's a really good card for groceries. Other than that, the thing that stands out to me is that my Bank of America cards were probably the most cards I earned the most on. You see unlimited cash in row number 5 there. It was $1,500, almost $1,600 in cash back. That was my old catch-all card. Now it'll be replaced with Smartly that we'll talk about. The Susan G. Komen card, $787, and the customized cash card, $488. So Bank of America, by far my strongest earning cards, non-intro offer cards. Well, Susan G. Komen had an intro offer, but still, like strong earning cards from Bank of America, which again, if you know me, years ago, it used to be all Chase. So that is a little bit telling there. If you go down a little bit, you can see my highest intro offer was number 19, the Amex Business Platinum. Again, I know you'll get mad. I value those at 1 cent per point. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, I did cash them out to those who are wondering. I did cash them out through my business checking account at 1 cent per point. So I'm happy with that. I was able to use some of the credits. I could probably add $50 or more in there because I did use the Hilton credit at the end, but I just kind of did it because it was easy, not because I really wanted a Hilton credit. So I just bought a gift card with it. So I think that's a fair valuation. The rest of these down here are just kind of cards that I got for intro offers. As you can see, I signed up for a lot of things this year. And so again, predominantly you get to this high of a number through intro offers, and that's why I like to sign up for a lot of stuff, because intro offers are a very important part of earning. But overall, the main thing that really jumped out to me was, the Bank of America spend overall. But I think I did pretty well in credit cards. I've been chasing $10,000 in credit card earnings for quite some time. It's really difficult to do, so I want to do it and then hit for the triple-double, but nothing there. So there are credit cards. Let me know what you think down below. Now, as far as credit card spend goes, I know people have asked me about this. It's tough to get a good representation of it because all the spend is mixed in there. this house was the big project for last year. So what's business spend versus rental spend versus manufactured spend and all of that. I mean, I'm sure I spent a ton of money. Don't get me wrong. Like it's probably close to $100,000 all in for spend. But going back through and dividing it through cards, it doesn't necessarily mean anything if it's like off category spend, but for intro offer, or it's going to be a tax write-off or something. So that's why the spend isn't included in here. And I was trying to go back and find a good way to do it, but I have to go down too many levels to give you a good representation of what it actually was per card. Again, because of what I do, houses are expensive, things are expensive, put in the front the landscaping in here on a new construction was like 14 grand alone or something like that. I had a house that needed a new front door. It's like 5 grand. So how do you classify that? And if someone's just watching this like, man, you spent a lot of money, it's like, yeah, but it's technically business endeavors, you could call them. A lot of the spend was ads that I run for the channel, for example, which again go on taxes and things like that. So that's why it's not so much misleading, or it's just it's hard to give a good example, a good representation of the spend where it belongs without actually doing proper bookkeeping, which I never do. So that is the answer to the question on credit card spend, by the way. Just wanted to add that in there. Let's move on to banks. So banks in 2024, let me scroll to the top here. Overall, I mean, I started out in kind of what I would call like a super cycle, meaning that I had a lot of accounts, as you can see, that I could open up right away in January. Wells, Huntington, PNC, Fifth Third, a lot of the tried and true staples of the game I was able to open up right away, which helped out greatly. But overall, I mean, we're talking about 43 accounts, which is low, because I flipped to 2023 was 56 accounts, 21 was 69, and 22 was 51. So definitely lower accounts. We'll talk about kind of my overall thought about it at the end. You can see at the end, account number 43, E-Trade. My last account for the year was November 12th. So it wasn't for a lack of trying. It was just much tougher this year, but the total, $10,850 if everything paid out today. Now, the way I do it is, like, if I open the account in that calendar year, then I count it for that calendar year. I understand that's not necessarily, like, correct for accounting purposes, but it's not that serious. It just makes everything easier to track, right? So, you can see that. There were some, didn't want to do that. So there were some misses. We're still waiting for some stuff to pay out. But there are definitely some misses. Towards the end, Blue Vine, I'm going to make a whole video on that, but they chose to cheat out a lot of customers by changing the rules, and I filed a CFPB complaint that I lost. So overall, that was a loss. That Columbia Credit Union is also a loss as well. Lost the NCUA complaint. So I got roughed up at the end. That Citizens Business Account, I made a video on that one. Totally got just jobbed out of that one. Weird set of circumstances. So I got roughed up at the end, and it was kind of hard to move past that $10,000 number. But again, $10,000 is the goal. So I'm still happy we made it for the fourth year in a row. So pretty good there. Just slow overall. Now, referrals, another interesting one, $19,055. There's still technically some that are outstanding, like Freck, for example, hasn't quite posted at the time of taping, but you got to call it at some point, right? So overall, there you go. Referrals, the interesting one was some of these used to work really well, and just now they don't. You see some of the math being weird and the formula's broken. That's because, again, some of the programs are weird. Like I know, On Tap, number 27, I referred a lot more people than one person, but they just really haven't paid me anything. We'll talk about that in a second. We've lost some programs. DCU didn't come back. A lot of these companies have gotten more strict with their referral programs. Affinity, for example, things like that. So, I mean, by all means, it's still really good. 20,000. That's largely because of you guys and using the links, and, everyone else who used the link also got paid. So that's fantastic to see. But overall, it's pretty, it's been a little bit tougher overall there. So that is the sheet. That's how it all broke out. Now, one more thing we can take a look at. I have to flip to my 2025 one. I don't know why I didn't put the summary in there, but the summary, so you can see I'll put it on screen for you overall to right, but 2024, total $39,151 taken from banks, which is down quite a bit from last year. It's like almost $5,000 less. 2023 was $44,000, but we had a much higher referral run last year. And then 22 was 25,000. So I mean, I think I'm fine with the totals. 2021, I didn't track credit cards, but overall, I mean, you can see the bank promotions are down the most, but it varies from place to place. So overall, as far as it goes, I'm happy with those totals. I think we did a decent job overall. 39,000 taken from banks is pretty good. Now, yes, to the person who always says, "But you have to pay taxes on that." Yeah, I understand, dude. I got it. Thank you. It's still virtually free money for doing very little effort, low effort tasks. So I'm not at all worried about that. So thank you to anyone who watched, read, used the referral links, joined the channel membership group, you name it. A lot of this is because of you, especially the referral piece is definitely because of you. We were able to make money together, which is an important thing. So my overall goal is to be the most profitable community on the internet. I think that is still an attainable goal between all the platforms that we have and what we can still come up with. So really, what does that mean for 2025? Well, the goals are probably going to remain the same. I mean, it all gets harder, right? Because credit hard's a relative word. We're not digging ditches here. But, I got denied for a lot of stuff from credit cards towards the end of last year, but there's still a lot of high offers to get. There's still the Strata Elite, the Wells Fargo Signify, there are high offers. So there's still stuff to get, but chasing the $10,000 mark credit card is probably going to be hard. So I still think 5,000 is a realistic number, especially now I have Smartly replacing my Cash Plus. 4% helps. I'm not relying on the 2.6% that I was getting from, for Bank of America. Bank promotions is going to be the tough one. I mean, I've already opened a few accounts. It's January 4th when I'm taping this, but I've opened 3 accounts already, so we're off to a good start. But again, we've just really seen less bank promotions ever since probably the easy, cheap, free VC money ride up. We really don't see nearly as many fintechs anymore as we used to. And with good reason, because candidly, it's a waste of their money to run these promotions, because the only people who ever sign up for these offers is us and fraudsters, right? Outside of SoFi, who became a real bank, Chime, I've seen before out in the real world. I think maybe GoToBank on occasion. I've at least seen ads for them. Who signs up for these things? They spend all their money and they think they're getting real customers, and they're really not. So we just haven't seen a lot of those, and that's definitely been missing. A lot of the banks have gotten a little bit stricter but manageable, meaning that like Huntington, if I open up, sometimes they deny me, but if I go in branch, they'll open it on prom. Fifth Third, I can no longer open online, but if I go in branch, it's fine. So you can still do stuff like that. Of course, your checks report, which we have videos on, is always just astronomical, but we'll make do. We keep signing up for things till we get to 10 grand. Referrals is really probably the harder part, because we've seen a lot of referral programs go away. And again, like, the banks have a right to defend themselves. Like Affinity, for example, used to be an easy $1,000 per year. Well, now with Affinity, if you're going to do the referral, I believe you have to know, in quotes, something about the referring member. So, you get it, then I think you have to initiate the phone call to tell them, well, hey, my name or address or something like that, which doesn't really lend itself to a video to do well anymore, so it's a little bit tougher. I'm still going to work on ways to do it, but when we've seen programs outright go away, DCU, I think, is getting bought by First Tech, so they're going to go away. M1, the bulk of my referral, I got like $7,000 last year in M1 referrals. That's capped at $1,000 now, and that's probably because of us. This is the Run on the Bank and the website are both small channels, but again, it's expensive, and they can tell, versus I refer someone, then how many people do they turn around and refer? So, it's hard to complain, because a lot of this is doable because of us. And, sure, we're not the biggest out there, but you make a video on it, it's not hard for them to find the video. Banks have found the videos, and some have contacted me initially being like, hey, you want to do something? And then I ask them follow-up questions like, are you sure we know what I do here? And then they never call me back. Skyline Credit Union was one. They sent me a thing, and I asked them a clarifying question, and they never replied back, because they figured out what we were doing. We're just churn and burn. So all that to say, I think it's going to be hard. What do they say in the Pirates of the Caribbean? The world is getting smaller. The world is getting smaller, but it's still very much profitable. I mean, just hitting the blue chip banks, I think you can still do $5,000 in bank promotions. a year, no problem. I just like to get to 10 to make it harder and give myself a reason to do it, to push and to show everyone that it is doable. So overall, I think it was another fantastic year. I'll close with this. Yes, it was down from last year. When I worked at Quicken Loans, one thing that management always did that I hated was like, we'd have a record-setting year because of interest rates or the lending environment, and then next year would be back to normal, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, woe is me, it's all terrible, no one's getting any money, we're sacking a whole floor. It's like, no, it wasn't a bad year, it was just a normal year versus last year was a really good year. So I think this was just more of a normal year overall. So I'm going to leave the goals where they're at. Of course, we don't stop. They're just, I basically have like an existential crisis until I know I'm going to get $10,000 per year. It's totally unnecessary and self-inflicted, but that is my dedication to the game. So there you have it. Let me know what you think of my totals down below. What am I missing? What should we add? What were your totals? How did you do cashback travel? If you're not in the bank promotion game, definitely consider checking out the blog and the Run on the Bank channel. That is where the real money is at. As you can see, yes, credit cards did fine, but consistently bank promotions have significantly outperformed credit card offers in the earning space, and you don't have to spend anything either. So definitely consider checking that out if you made it to the end of this video. Like I said, let me know your totals down below. And if you end up with a lot of referral programs or you want to be around a bunch of like-minded folks, well, then consider the channel memberships. It's the join button down below. I don't plug it too much over here, but it's a Discord server shared between this channel and Run on the Bank. It's $5 a month, cancel any time, but the gist of it is we're assembling the best bonus hunters in the game to find offers around the nation, refer one another, and use member links in videos and blog posts when applicable. Of course, the member gets to keep all that money. The gist of it is your membership will just be paid for throughout the course of the year and picking up a few referrals, and anything else is extra. We're 100 members deep. We'd love to see you over there, but that's kind of our step to help try to make the most profitable community out there. Again, you can play, and all the other content is free, but if you want the maximum level, that's a service we're trying to offer and improve in 2025. So anyways, it's been fun. Now the hard part, or the most exciting part, all the totals reset to 0, and the grind, the climb to 10,000 resumes all over again. And I'm absolutely here for every account that I can get my hands on. And I hope you'll join me because we tell the stories, wins, losses, and all of it. So anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. Of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Of course, we're posting content just like this every single week, and right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And as we said, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com and Run on the Bank, where there are bonuses as well. Anyways, that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.